Friends, we have to now move on to the next in line is another very high-profile speaker. We are doing this event jointly with the World Evangelical Alliance, and we are very pleased to have the Secretary General of the World Evangelical Alliance, Archbishop Professor Thomas Scrimmacher. He's also one of the highly intellectual. He has about 4 doctorate degrees in theology. So very highly intellectual person. Archbishop is the Secretary General of the WEA, which connects Protestant churches belonging to 143 national evangelical alliances. And before becoming the Secretary General, Archbishop served the World Evangelical Alliance in various leadership roles over the last 2 decades. Archbishop Thomas also holds the honorary position of the President of the International Council of the International Society for Human Rights and co-president of Religions for Peace, New York. So the community here is not a stranger to Archbishop Thomas. So Bishop Thomas, please add further the spiritual significance of water and any other good practices or actions that the World Evangelical Alliance is engaged in protection of right to water, or any other topic that you need to contribute in about 5 to 7 minutes.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's an honor to speak to you all. I wanted to be in New York myself, but for health reasons I had to stay here. You will see among our midst my deputy. That was the highest person I could send, Samuel Chiang. He's sitting in the middle of you all. And of course, WA is well represented. John Girgis, our permanent representative to the UN. Matthias Böning, who is representing the WA to the UN here in Bonn, to the Climate Change Secretariat, and Chris Elisara, from the World Evangelical Alliance Sustainability Center. Probably there are others there I cannot see. I'm also glad to cooperate with PART, with the Lutheran Church in America, but especially with the World Council of Churches. It is just some days ago that we cooperated at the UN in the side event in Geneva on a totally different topic, together with Caritas International, our Catholic friends, questioning the sanctions around the world and the result they have on food, on water, and many other things for the poor people in the country. So we are a good team, I think, representing a very diverse group of Christian groups. I have to say that for me, it is not just representing WA when I'm here. I feel it too very important personally to be available. I was there when the plastic treaty was decided on by the United Nations Environment Assembly, and was very, very happy. And of course, this relates to what we have in common as the groups working together here, not only water as human rights, not only leave it in the hand of the public, not only promote public-public partnerships, but also no to bottled water. We know that a lot of people still depend on bottled water, but of course this is a major issue when it comes to the plastic treaty. WA is very much involved on a local level. I love projects we have in Africa where our people sit with local communities, with villages, and to ensure that when we dig wells and we go for local drinking water, that this is a project of the community. So we have a nice project where then everybody buys a brick that then finally, and even puts his name on it, so that the brick, the well really is owned by the local people and protected by the local people. Let me say in very principle, the top level is human rights is drinking water is a human right. I have written this in our book Creation Care and Loving Your Neighbor. My own contribution is the human right to drinking water, a newly invented right on ancient obligation. I think religious communities have no choice than to say it's an ancient obligation that has been covered under the human rights for food and other places and now has its own life. But from the very beginning, let me say it very simple, it's God's fault that he created humans in a way that we cannot live without water. And when I was asked for the lecture here in Romania, with this question, is this a new invention? Do we get new human rights around the clock? I said, it's a very simple fact. Without water, there is no life. And life is the highest human right we have. So if you take away water from people, and if it is only because you make it for private gain and so expensive that people have no access to it, then people die. And that is the most evil human rights violation that there is. That's very simple. And if you don't believe me, sorry for saying this, test it out for a week to live without water, and you will agree with me. But that's the negative side. All faith communities, all world religions, not only Christianity, Islam, the Jewish community, Buddhists, Hindus, all agree and call it living water. Jesus, the founder of my own religion, he stated, give freely from the springs of the water of life, the book of Revelations. And John clarifies that the living water is Jesus himself. This is the best picture you can give of Jesus, that he is the living water, because living water is life. It is not only a symbol of life, it is life. We inherited all this from the Tanakh, from what we call the Old Testament, from our Jewish friends. And there, especially in Exodus 17:3, it says, water, without clean water, there can be no life. And the abundant provision of water is a sign of shalom, of peace, of good rain. Access to clean water is a right under God for all humans. This is just the reality. I have to say, I do not find it easier with any other human rights to prove that it is a human rights than with the human rights to drinking water. It's so simple, it's so obvious. And I think religious communities from all over the world, large religions, small religions, have to stress this, that in this case, there might be discussions about the political implementation. But the basic fact where we start is life depends on water. So life is water, and water is life. And if you deny drinking water to people, you deny them nothing less than the pure life. And the same is true. I have no time to go into details. When you look in our Holy Scripture, both in the Jewish scripture of our Jewish friends and the so-called New Testament, you also will find very early on provisions around waste, around rubbish, around how to go about assuring that cleanness is available and does not destroy the base for life, and especially the water. And I know there are very similar provisions in many other world religions. Friends, let's not first of all look at this important political fight and the things we are asking for, but let's make it very simple. If you believe that this is a creation, you will have to believe that water is life, and therefore water is a human right, and it's one of the first things we have to do, assure that everybody has drinking water and has guarantee to live, because it does not lack it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Archbishop Thomas, for underlining that water is a fundamental human right, and Jesus being the living water, life is water, water is life. That's beautifully put. Thank you so much.